Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started with this episode.
Quite different. So everybody's always intrigued, like, what are you going to do in China? China of all places, then everybody. I remember before I left home, one of my sisters was like, now I feel like I'm traveling out. You know how we are in Nigeria, like China is just China. Like we don't see it like going abroad. Like some people were actually laughing like, you're going to China of all places. But on getting to this place, I would say I've really enjoyed myself. I've had the best of time here in China, and it has been very interesting. Of course, I've had the good and the bad times here in China. Of course, it has been a while, but it's been going on smoothly. And China has been one of the best things that has happened to me since I got here. A lot of things have happened that I will forever remember and I will cherish for life. So yeah, so coming to China is very interesting, and I'm still enjoying my stay here. Yeah, so I came to China because of my husband. So I was fortunate to be here. Yeah.
That is interesting, Justina. See, in fact, you're already becoming a Chinese ambassador today because you are speaking so well of China. Of course, that is something good. We don't necessarily need to say anything bad about a place. If you are enjoying it there, and that is really lovely. We are so happy about that.
Thank you. No. But to be factual, I'm actually enjoying myself. Of course, people have different story. Different people have experienced different things here in China. But for me personally, I would say I've really enjoyed my times here in China, and I'm still enjoying because there are a lot of opportunities. I'm sure we'll get to that point. Maybe during our discussion, we'll talk more about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, life is usually made up of both bad and good on both sides. Yeah. It cannot just be everything rosy. It never happened like that for any real life. So now tell me, when you were much younger, what was your passion like?
Okay, when I was more younger, I've always loved to help people. I'm more passionate about people. When people are in need, I'm always ready to help. And also, I like, I'm a legal practitioner, like I mentioned earlier. Right from childhood, I've always liked justice. Like when people are having issues, especially when we are much younger, when I'm a twin and I have a twin brother, and sometimes, when our friends are having issues like fighting, as kids, sometimes we fight. I always try to settle the matter amicably because I just like people. I just like that unity, bringing people together. And I'm really passionate about that. And that is what is actually helping me now. Even till now, the passion is still there. And that is why it's helping me with what I do here in China, trying to bring people together. I'm always particular about unity. I love people. When I see people, they are in one accord, working together. It has always been my passion right from childhood. And I'm still passionate about that right now. It hasn't changed yet. Yeah, so that's what I've always been working on, and I'm still working on it.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Yeah, of course, that is what you love to do, and you are doing it. There is nothing better in life than doing what you love to do. No? That is a life that every one of us should be dreaming of having. Because not everybody is doing what they like to do. Most people are doing what is available for them to do just to survive. No, if you're able to do what you love to do, there is no better life than that. So how was law school during those period that you studied in Nigeria, studying for law? Of course, later then you went to start practicing law in Lagos. So first, how was the school period?
Oh, now you just made me to remember my times in law school. It's been a while. Yeah, my law school period was very interesting. I was in Nigerian Law School, Lagos at VI, and it was interesting. I met a lot of people from different universities, and I met so many people. In fact, I still have some close contacts that have been my friends since we met at the law school. So it has been very interesting, At the time, everybody came from different backgrounds, from different universities. So we are all in the same class. Sometimes we have group discussions. Sometimes we have to meet together to do some work, teamwork. So it was quite interesting. And that period really helped me in team building as an individual, because there are sometimes you have to work with people that you don't even know. There are some people that I didn't have a relationship with, but because of the system at the time, because we had to do some things together as a group. So it really helped me to work with people and to also share ideas. During the law school, I was able to meet a lot of people, share ideas with them, and also learn from them. And so it was really interesting, and it was also challenging as well. You know how law school is, very challenging. You have to read a lot. You have to be it's very difficult. It's very difficult at the law school, but thank God I scaled through. I made it in just one sitting, and I thank God for that, because I know so many people that after going to the law school, there are a lot of issues that happened. I remember, I think it was a year before my set, that one of the students had a mental issue because it was very challenging. You have to read a lot just to pass the exam. And for me, I thank God I was able to make it in just one sitting, and I thank God for that. So law school days was really interesting, and is also a memorable one as well.
That's interesting. That's good to hear. Also, of course, a lot of challenges are usually involved. No, if you need to amount or anything in life, of course, you need to be prepared for the challenges. Then after that, of course, you started practicing in Lagos. No, you
Yes.
started practicing law in Lagos, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I think anyway, I wanted to ask something, because when you were doing your introduction, you made mention of the fact that the law system that you applied in Nigeria, the one in Beijing, in China, sorry, China instead of Beijing, is different. No? Uh,
Yes.
Anyway, before I move to that part, I wanted to understand the language, because now you're in a country that is no. I know some Chinese might speak English because China is becoming an international country too. So the international language is English. So there is no way around about that. But in the country, the dominant language is Chinese. So they prioritize us also. So how do you manage with the language to start with?
That is really an interesting question. In fact, when I came to China at first, in 2015, it was really challenging, because at the time, Chinese are just starting. Okay, right now, a lot of Chinese are beginning to speak English, but not all of them, of course. Of course. But when I came newly, it was really challenging, because everywhere you go is Chinese. The locals, they can't speak English. And when you go to the markets, you go to school, everywhere is Chinese. So when I came at first, at least with the first word that we were taught in school was ni hao, which means hello. So anywhere we go, we just say ni hao, even if you don't understand. And one thing about Chinese is, once you say ni hao, that is hello, they just assume you can speak Chinese, and they just keep speaking, not even minding if you understand or not. So when I came, it was really challenging. Like, you have to learn. But the school really helped, because we had to study Chinese. It was compulsory for all international students. You have to learn Chinese as a major course. It's compulsory for everyone to study. So I did Chinese for like less than a year, because it was for a section, and we had the classes for like three days in a week, which was like for like 2 hours, yes, or so, yes. So it wasn't much, but one thing about Chinese is, for you to be able to speak good Chinese, it has to take determination. If you are not determined to learn, it's very difficult, because it's difficult. Speaking is different from listening. There's listening, there's speaking, and there's writing. So these are different things. And one thing about Chinese language is, if you don't get the right pronunciation, they don't understand you. And a word can have the same pronunciation but different meanings. So you have to know the intonation, how to pronounce it. For example, in Chinese, there are 4 intonations. For example, like this word ma, it could be, if you say ma, it means different things. So there's ma, ma, ma. So it's very interesting. So when you are talking to a local, you have to state exactly like a Chinese. If not, they don't understand you. Because if you say a word in a different tone, it means a different thing entirely. And they don't understand. So sometimes when we go to the market, what we do is we go with our phone. That's the good thing with the mobile. So there's Chinese, like you can translate on your phone, and that's how so many people have been surviving. So even there are so many people that still don't speak Chinese, but they are still surviving in China because they have the mobile phone. So when they go out, you can translate with your phone. There's the audio and there's the written. So for me, it was challenging at first, but I was so determined to learn the language. So I just speak the language, even if I'm not speaking right. That was what I was doing. I just keep speaking, and by the time you keep speaking, it helps you improve better. And that was how I've been able to improve myself. And I'm still improving, I'm still learning. I'm not yet perfect. My Chinese is not that perfect, but at least it's okay. And that's how I've been able to survive here. The language is really a major challenge for a lot of foreigners here in China.
Okay, I can imagine that. I can imagine anyway, Chinese are everywhere these days. So of course, wherever you are, you must hear some Chinese that are speaking. So I imagine how you'll be able to learn that. And anyway, that is fine. You managed to. There are people speaking it. So if you put an effort in it, you can. I understand. Just to share with you, I remember when I first came to Italy, they started to tell me how to speak Italian language. Then very easily, I even forgot the first words they told me. One word resembles something like not that it really resembles, but in my head it resembles because now I can understand it. I think the word was ciao, something very simple like hello. So
Okay.
I went around at a point I forgot it. Then I realized that I was hearing some people say that the Italian language is also like like Nigerian language sometimes. No?
Okay.
Is that some of the stuff? The word that came to me was Micholu. Oh, Micholu, what
Oh,
does that
major.
mean? Then I said, okay, maybe that is what they meant. Because I just knew, I think I'm like 3 weeks here or 2 weeks, I don't remember, a few days actually. So
Okay.
then when I see somebody, I say Mecholu, the person would, but anyway, maybe say chow, something like that. So for foreigner, it's really, it's really very interesting when you begin to learn a new language.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I know for China, for Chinese here, when a foreigner, especially when they see a foreigner speak just in one word, like I said, ni hao, they are really intrigued, like, wow, a foreigner can speak their language, and they just keep speaking. They assume you can speak, even though it's just one word. But that's really helped a lot of people. For me personally, it really helped me because they keep speaking. I will just be nodding my head. You know how we are when they are speaking, you just be nodding, even though you don't understand, but just keep nodding. So they feel like you understand. And with that, I start picking little words. And when I get home, sometimes I try to check it, or I check my phone. I use my phone to check immediately what it means. And sometimes, and one thing about Chinese, they are always ready to explain to you. If you ask them that, what does this mean? They will explain to you so you understand better. So it's always good to communicate with them. But it's very interesting. Like once you just say ni hao, hello, they just assume you can speak Chinese, and but it's very interesting. Chinese language is interesting.
It's like maybe, for example, now when you hear some European that are speaking the typical Nigerian English, the pidgin English.
Mm, yeah.
For me, I find it very interesting to watch. Though you see some of them, or maybe on YouTube, that are speaking Nigerian pidgin English. Of course, you would like to hear it, though, because there is something
Yeah.
powerful about the language.
Mm-hmm.
In that it sort of create an instant connection between you and the person that you are speaking to or you are listening to, because you can understand yourself. But
Yeah.
if you cannot understand yourself through the spoken word, because human being, of course, we have evolved so much that is the commonest means to communicate. Because there are many other means to communicate, but as human being, we communicate through languages, spoken words, whether also
Yeah.
written words. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's very interesting. But what
Yeah.
about
Okay.
what about
I'm
the?
listening.
Yeah, please tell me. I'm listening.
No, I wanted to say that language is very important here in China. You have to understand the language, no matter how you want to do it, because you cannot survive. Everything here is just Chinese. Like anything you can think of. Even when you go to the restaurants, you go to the pharmacies, you go to the hospital, everything is Chinese. So you just have to learn. If not, life will be very unbearable. So language is very important in anything. Once a foreigner is moving to a country, you just have to learn. If you really want to stay in that particular country, it's very important for someone to learn. And without the language, communication will be very difficult, and it will be difficult to also progress, because there are some places that once you understand their language, it opens door. For example, there are some places that I cannot enter, I cannot go to, because I cannot speak their language. But if I can speak the language, it's open there. I have more access to the people, I have more to contribute. But without the language, I can't do anything. So that's why I'm still working on my Chinese, because to be in China, you have to understand the language, which is very, very important. Let me say it like Chinese say, enjoy yao. Very important.
That sounds like Yoruba to me. Say that again.
Enjoy yao. It means very important.
Okay. No, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Yeah. It's something that we also have been stressing here in Italy, because there are a lot of Nigerians here who do not understand the language. Of course, I understand there is, because of the way the language is structured, it's difficult for somebody that is coming from English speaking to learn Italian language, even though Italian language really is a beautiful language, no? But if you can go to China and learn Chinese language, I don't know why somebody coming from Nigeria cannot learn an Italian or learn Deutsch, or if you are there, no? I'm not saying that if you're in Nigeria, learn this language, because you don't need it, no? It's a better learn African language. But if you are going there to live, sorry,
Yes.
you must learn this language, or somebody's just going to be managing you. Master your
Yeah.
communication. So that one is very important. Now, your whole arrival and living in China is different from some other Nigerians that are there, who maybe are there maybe for pure business, or for some other reason they find themselves in China. If you didn't go there to maybe study, and for this you might not have access to maybe going to university or things like that. So how is the life of Nigerian people there? That is what I'm interested in. Please share with us.
And the life of Nigerian people, like you said, everybody is here for a different reason or the other. There are a lot of Nigerians in China. Nigerians, we are everywhere, all over the world. And here in China, I think we have the highest population, yes, as well. We have the highest population of Africans in China. And when you look at the southern part of China, which is it's called the Guangdong province, there are lots of Nigerians. In fact, most of them right now, a lot of them are married to Chinese, and they do businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs. Most of them in the southern part, they are into business. They do, buying and selling, exports and importing. That's what they do majorly in that part. And most of the people that have stayed long in China, we have people that have been here for years, as long as 20 years. They are majorly in that part. And also we have students, a lot of students who are on scholarship. Even me personally, I'm also on the Chinese government scholarship. I got the Chinese government scholarship to study for my master's and also for my PhD. So a lot of Nigerians have also been a beneficiary of this as well. We have a lot of students who are doing their postgraduate studies here in China. We also have undergraduate as well. And the undergraduates, most of them are self-sponsored. They pay, they are self-sponsored, they paid by themselves. But most of the postgraduates are scholarship programs. And we also have a lot of entrepreneurs as well. And those are the three major categories that we have: the business, students, and entrepreneur. Okay, and also we have a lot of teachers. Here in China, a lot of people, to make easy money, let me put it that way, to make quick and easy money is teaching, because of the language. A lot of Chinese want to learn English, now they are trying to be global, they are trying to go into the international world. So English language is very important to them, and Chinese can spend any amount just to learn English. So now a lot of Africans, not just Nigerians, what am I even saying? All foreigners. In fact, most of the foreigners here in China, they are teachers. When you hear that somebody is working in China, if you ask the person, you see that the person is teaching a lot of people from the US, a lot of them from Europe, Africans are all here in China teaching English, because English language is a good way to make quick money, and they pay a lot. They pay them very well. So that's what most Nigerians also do. Even students, after graduation, people don't want to go back home. They just want to stay put in China because they know that they can make it here in China. And you see that after graduation, even people with PhD, imagine people with postgraduate degree, they want to stay and be teaching English for primary school students, nursery school students. Imagine in China. I don't know if you've seen that with kids teaching them English is very, very interesting when you see this, and you be like, wow, how can this old man be doing such a thing? But that is the life here in China. It is normal. You see an elderly man, in Nigeria, usually is the women that are mostly in teaching, but here in China, you see more of men, elderly men, jumping with the kids, like you have to survive and make the money. So that's what most people do here, right? In China, a lot of people, that's what they do.
That is very interesting, really, to see that there are, of course, there are opportunities everywhere. Knowledge will
Mhm.
always serve you if you have it. Yes, that is really so good to hear. So you managed to benefit from Chinese scholarship, you said, right? So how
Yes.
does the scholarship work? Somebody maybe went to China and then how does it qualify for scholarship?
For the scholarship is actually open. I think what the problem is, most people don't get the information about this. The scholarship is open to anybody. Once you are a graduate and you have all your documents, you just need to apply on the Chinese website. They have the scholarship website. You have to apply on the website, and also have to apply on the school you are interested in. You have an option of you have two, is it three or two? No, two options of schools. So you have to fill in your application on the school site and also on the scholarship, because they are two separate website. There's the scholarship website and there's the school. So once you get admission in the school, you automatically get admission with the Chinese government if you apply for it. And there are a lot of scholarship. For me, and I'm on CSC, which is Chinese government scholarship. They have the Belt and Road. There's the MOFCOM, which is bilateral between Nigeria and China. And there are some other ones. And there's the national scholarship, and there are the province, like the states, they also have their scholarship, and some schools also have scholarship. So some of the scholarship, and there's partial scholarship and full scholarship. For example, I'm on full scholarship, and which entails accommodation, feeding, stipends, and yes, health insurance, and the school fees as well. Then for the partial scholarship, so you have to pay for the accommodation, your feeding, you have to sort yourself out. So it depends on the scholarship. And also there's the UCAS. Like I mentioned that my husband was here at the time. He also got the PhD scholarship when he came at first. And his own PhD was the Chinese government scholarship. Is like the highest scholarship here, which is called the UCAS scholarship at the time. So there are a lot of scholarship opportunities. People just have to know about it and ask questions. So, and it's very easy. Admission here in China, at first, when I came, it was very easy, but right now it's so difficult to get admission. So many people have been trying for years, but it's not just coming through. And then with the pandemic, things have really changed now. The pandemic has really affected a lot of things, because right now foreign students are stuck outside. Nobody is allowed into China. You can go out of China, but you cannot come in, except the diplomats and some special people of sort. So it's very difficult now. Like the new section just started September. So it's just admission is quite difficult, and most people that get the admission now are those that within China. It's just very few people, because those outside, they have to take their classes online. and which is quite challenging and difficult. So, but admission is open to anybody. It's just for you to fill in and submit your application, and it's usually online. You don't even need anybody to work it out for you. Although there are a lot of agents here in China that help people as well, and people have been getting scholarship and being admitted into the universities.
All right. Thank you very much, Justina. I really appreciate the time that you are spending here to help us know also about China, because why not? Somebody might be interested in try opportunity there, because China is part of this world. So why not? If you can travel to US, travel to UK, maybe you can also travel to China. I don't know. I'm not saying you must do that, but look at it. If you want to the option is up for you, so you do whatever you want to do. So do you also practice law in China yourself? Because since you are coming from the law background, because you understand the language. Now we're going to be very brief, because we're not going to stay here for a long time. Yeah, please.
Okay. This one is even a very short thing. Right now, okay, let me just say, like I mentioned earlier, Chinese law is quite different from the Nigerian law. We practice the common law while they practice the civil law, which are quite different. So it's very difficult for a foreigner to practice here in China. And for me, I'm able to practice partially. I wouldn't say I'm practicing as such, because it's so difficult for me. Through the embassy, African embassy, especially the Nigeria embassy, they've been helping me a lot. And through the embassy, I'm able to practice, and I also have a lot of Chinese partners that we collaborate together. So there's a particular letter I get from the embassy. For example, if I want to go to the prison, I have to get the documents from the embassy, which my name will be written on it. Without it, I cannot go. And also to go to the detention center, to the courts, I have to go through the embassy. But ordinarily, alone, I cannot practice alone. I have to go through the embassy. I have to do anything in representing people, and the embassy, Nigeria embassy, has been very helpful, and also for the African embassies as well, because for now I'm the first and only African lawyer in China. So I help everybody, all Africans, when they have issues. I try to go to their embassy as well and help them in sorting their legal cases.
Thank you very much for that. That is also something to be proud of. No, I'm proud of you, sister. That is good.
Thank you.
All right, now moving towards the end of the podcast, because it's going to be a short one. What would you say you like most in your stay in China, because you are still there? So of course you are going to be there for a longer time, because if you are joining your husband there, that is what it is. So share with me, what is it? Because you said there was a good tea, there were no bad, there was also tea that were not very good. The one that are not very good, we will leave that for another day. For the good thing, we are in for the good thing. Share with us.
Oh, for the good things. In fact, if I start now, I'm sure we won't be able to finish, because I will say, since I got to China, I've grown, I've learned, I'm better. A lot of things have happened to me. For example, I would say the pandemic has been my best year ever, 2020. I know for some people, it may be the worst year, but for me, I got a lot of opportunities here in China. And it's because I'm in China. If I were to be somewhere else, I may not get some of these opportunities. So China for me has been one of the best places that I've been so far. I know I'll still go to some other places, but China, for example, in China, I've been able to attend a lot of programs organized by the Chinese government. And sometimes I represent Nigeria, sometimes I represent Africa. And you know how Africa is, but to meet some of these leaders, especially those on the top, like the leaders, to communicate with them, to share our views as youth. As the younger generation, we have a lot of ideas, we have a lot of things we want to share, but we don't have the platform. But being here in China, I've gotten the platform to be able to express myself, to be able to talk to these leaders sometimes, and some of them, they listen. For example, if I were to be in Nigeria, there are some things that I do here that nobody will even listen to me, but because I'm in China, is way better, is easier for me. I have easy access to some of these opportunities because I'm in China. And because China is different from every part of the world. When, for example, I got a UN fellowship UN fellowship. And because I'm in China, the way I'm being treated is different. Everybody wants to hear my view. There are a lot of people from different parts of the world, from the US, from America, from Europe, from Canada, Australia, and all those parts. But because I'm in China, our views are always different. So these are some of the opportunities that I've gained from China, meeting people from different backgrounds, sharing ideas, and doing a lot of things. We've done a lot of projects while in China. So I would say China for me has been very fulfilling and very interesting as well.
All right. Thank you so much, dear Justina. That is where we are going to cut the long conversation short today, because because we're going to be attending to something so important here. I don't know if you want to say a shout out to some people, or I don't know, just a concluding message. Seconds.
Okay. Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to appreciate you for bringing me on board today. It has been very interesting. I have a lot to say, but because of the time constraint, I can't say a lot. But thank you. I really appreciate you. Then I would like to say shout out to my family. I'm sure they are watching, and my friends here in China, because I shared the link. So a lot of people are looking forward to listening to me today. And also we have the AddictNet Radio, that's African Diaspora in China Network. They are also listening. We have the radio, and they also hope to share this on the platform afterwards, so people can also have access to this. So a shout out to my friends, my colleagues, and we have a lot of organization here: NIDO, AddictNet, ACL. I just want to say thank you. And to my family back home, of course, I love you. I miss you all. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Justina. We really appreciate your time. And to all of you that have listened to the end of the podcast, I say thank you, all of you, and talk to you very soon. Bye for now. If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi Ewafo. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.